Hey, what's up, guys? This is Big Rob's Little Podcast number 25, and it's finally Christmas break for me. My first semester is just about done. Really, only one more week left. And college is going well. Um, I still never really expected to get in, and here I am now. First semester almost done in the books for me. Broadcasting is something I love. Radio presentation right now I'm doing really good in, and of course it's something I love. So of course I'm going to do well in it and succeed in that class. And so today, um, all I had was my radio lab, which was me recording a 2 hour show for literally tomorrow morning between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. You can listen to that live on crnc.ca. I'm going to try and get some recordings of it, my talk bits, along with a friend of mine, and eventually get things posted for that. For those of you who have me on Facebook and want to hear my little talk bits, you can find that on Facebook eventually once I get that up. Because one person in particular, my cousin, he hasn't been able to listen to me live, which is unfortunate because I've been live twice, one for sports and one for actual announcer on the air. So if I'm able to actually get the recordings and stuff and post them, then hopefully this time he'll be able to actually listen. But enough about that. Finally, Christmas is just around the corner. Enough about that for a little bit. Moving on to something else actually that I wanted to get off my chest before I forget. Obviously, from my last podcast, I was talking predictions for Clash of Champions with both Phoenix and Brad. So we made our WWE Clash of Champions predictions, and I'm going to take you to the results right now as we speak. So I'm going to actually screen share this at the moment. So as we can see here, Mojo Rawley defeated Zack Ryder in the pre-show match. Dolph Ziggler became new U.S. champion by defeating Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode in a triple threat match. That was what really shocked me. I mean, it was kind of a botch ending with the end of days into the zigzag kind of thing. It was an alright match, but now this past week on SmackDown, Dolph Ziggler kind of just dropped the belt in the ring and walked away. So what's next for Ziggler? Who knows? But only time will tell, really. He basically kind of just forfeited the title, which is weird. But I mean, I think it's way past Ziggler's time, anyways. Moving on, though, the Usos retained their tag titles in a fatal four-way tag team match by defeating the New Day, Gable and Benjamin, and Rusev Day, as I'll call them, Rusev in English. Charlotte Flair retained the Women's Championship by making Natalya tap out to the figure eight. I kind of wish that Carmella would have cashed in Money in the Bank at this point, but she was during the match, but then things got out of hand and whatnot. So Didn't happen. The Bludgeon Brothers, not surprised. They defeated Breezango. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn kept their jobs by defeating Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura in a tag match with Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon as the special guest refs. And Daniel Bryan doing a fast count to make sure that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn kept their jobs because Shane McMahon was stepping out of line. Daniel Bryan knew what was right, and of course, Kevin and Sami kept their jobs. And finally, of course, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles defeated Jinder Mahal to retain the WWE Championship with a calf crusher. That was crazy. Moving right back along, though. Back to me. It was a great pay-per-view. Kinda, not really. I mean, I kind of find it was bland, to be honest. I wasn't a big fan of it, but either way, I know I kind of just contradicted myself there from saying it was great to it was bland, but it really was. I wasn't really surprised leading into the pay-per-view, to be honest. But the next one coming up, obviously, or the next event on the network, I should say, is NXT Takeover Philadelphia, which is right before Royal Rumble. Sorry. So Royal Rumble weekend is literally next month, and it's going to be crazy. And I will be back, obviously in January, making a podcast with predictions. Not sure who I will have on that podcast specifically, but I know I'll be on because it is Big Rob's little podcast. So, of course. Now, how about them Toronto Maple Leafs? The Toronto Maple Leafs are doing quite well, if I'd say so myself, because think about it. You have a team right now that is currently second in the Atlantic Division, and if I'm not mistaken, is eighth or ninth overall in the league, which is not bad. It really is not that bad. The Leafs are doing phenomenal. Their next game is tomorrow against the New York Rangers. They play at 7 p.m. And the Leafs played their uh, next year or century game, whatever, of 100 years. 100 years for the Leafs, pretty much, is what I'm trying to say. It's crazy to think that the NHL and even the Maple Leafs have been around. And, the last time they won a Stanley Cup was 67. They haven't won one since. And it's crazy to think, though. But yeah, they beat the Hurricanes, on Tuesday with a score of 8-1. It was a good game, that's for sure. And I'm just doing some more digging here on good old Google. But yeah, so currently the record is 21 wins, 14 losses, and 1 overtime loss. Meaning with 21 wins, they have 42 points, and then with the 1 overtime loss, they get an extra point. So they're at 43, which isn't bad at all. I'm going to look up real quick NHL standings, or NHL league standing, to give you a little, glimpse as to where they're actually standing. Good old NHL.com. So, Leafs are a top-notch team this year. And they are currently... Okay, so now they're 10th, right behind Columbus. Columbus is 1 point ahead of them. That's all right. Because they right now, as far as the Leafs stand, they're in the playoffs. They're 5th in the Eastern Conference, which is good. The Leafs are having a great year. Enough said. Moving on, though. I really don't know what else to talk about. I mean, I'm just glad for me. It's Christmas break now. I get to relax. Got everything handed in so far that needs to be handed in for schoolwork wise. I'm looking forward to Christmas. And just, spending time with those that are close to me. It's kind of surreal to me now, to be honest. I am almost done one full semester at school. I literally have one more week when I go back. So, one or two, maybe. We go back the 2nd. We go till like roughly the 10th. So, yeah, maybe like 2-ish weeks. But, Christmas break almost here. Or is here, I should say. Wow. So, from the bottom of my heart, from Big Rob's Little Podcast, I want to wish each and every one of you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. And the next time you'll be seeing me will be next year, 2018. So this has been Big Rob's Little Podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in each and every time. And I'm out of here. Happy holidays.